Hello and welcome to the guide on Nexus-King. So there's a few small things about this fight. This is going to be for heroic only that you might want to know before you pull this boss to help reduce pull counts. So the first thing here is we're actually just going to go right to the raid plan, and you're going to start the fight. And what you want to do is you want to split your raid in half, preparation for later parts of the fight. So you can see we have a blue group and a purple group. You can use whatever markers you want, and make sure that they're evenly split. So it's the easiest way of doing it. We can go over that phase in a little bit. So the first thing here with the strat we are planning to do is the conquerors. One of them is the first one's going to be soloed by the tank. Both vanquishes are going to go off the other side of the room. Then everyone's going to get conquered too. You basically need to take 3 conquerors to get rid of all your stacks, so you don't die going in the next phase. So if it's tuned really light, you might need to take 2 conquerors in one. Maybe if it's tuned so light, you could take multiple conquerors. But we found it easy just to have the tank solo the first one because their tank swap's a little weird. So trying to have them like swing around and all this stuff just makes it really awkward. So we're gonna hop over to like our heroic VOD, and I just want to show off these mechanics. I'm gonna point out these dragons in a second. So first here, there's a pulse of raid damage, and then you see conquer 1. So right now in heroic, we're taking it, which is completely fine. As you can see here, it's pretty slow, and then conquer 2. So this might as well be, you could potentially do this as your strategy, especially if there's no orbs coming. Later in the fight, it gets a little weirder, which is why I advised having the tank solo the first one. But in heroic, if you find it free, again, just take both, because now everyone's gonna be at 1 stack and you're kind of vibing. It does do a lot of damage. You can see here, each stack of this is giving you this 20-second debuff. So he's gonna bring it in, 20-second debuff. He's going to bring it in again, and it's going to just add 2 stacks on it. So you're going to take so much more damage. If this gets tuned, 30% higher, people are going to die here. Unless you're really good with the raid DRs. So again, could be a Starcraft situation where you just stack everything on the early ones and then ignore. Could not be. So we'll keep that in mind. And now what I want to talk about is these dragons. So these dragons, they're going to be spawning around the room, and the way it works is that the closest dragon to the raid is going to fire first, and then it's going to fire orbs one at a time. So you can see here, closest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's just like bouncing back and forth, going all the way to the one in the opposite. If we go a little ahead, you'll see here that the raid's here, and then it's going to bounce this way. So in Mythic, that was quite brutal. In Heroic here, you're going to see we're going to get in the first one. All the stacks are cleared now, and the tanks are going to fire these off. Oh, this beginning of fight. Okay, so before we do that, I want to talk about this mechanic before we talk about removing this last stack. So with this mechanic here, the general idea is, hey, drop it behind the raid, and then scoot a tiny bit, and then drop it like where we are now, and then make a big move. So you can see these guys are trying to get out. These claws are going to grip you in. So like, look at this guy here. So you see this claw? It's going to grip him in to potentially this claw. Rule of thumb, you get targeted by this, you take a light personal. Because it's just too much coordination in a heroic raid to try to like place these perfectly unless you know you're completely solo. So then the second set come out and we just kind of drop them where we are and we make a huge move. So you can see like this guy here, he took a hit, that extra hit of it, and he almost died. an extra hit and he almost died. So if you get it, taking it personal is just really, really important. And we're going to have the mechanic here. The dragons are shooting, so you can see they were popping off, and then they're shooting their beams. So the closest dragon was here, and then it's doing that back, until it's going to be on the other side. So the first one was soloed, the second one's being taken. There's still people with the debuff. So we're taking two, again, super undertuned. But if you can get away with it, then sure. Same thing here, he's going to go out. He's solo. The next group's going to kind of go in the next area. Going, and then we're making a big move. And we're going to have one more set of this. So that's the gist of P1. Really just looking at live and making sure how you want to do the groups. Soaking is going to be the big difference. You can see here, we're taking the boss, ideally drop the first one's here, the second one's here, and then move. But don't overcomplicate it. So we're going to hop to P2 now. It's just more of the same. So, P2 is going to come out. The dragon's going to come out. And you're going to get these circles. Easiest way to do this, drop circles behind you in Heroic. So you're going to see here, we drop the circles behind us. You got to be really careful because this stuff's still on the ground. It's going to despawn now. You're going to get these, just kind of drop them behind the group. And ideally, you move to the other side of the boss, but not a big deal because we have everything over here. Do not hit a beam. That's the tank mechanic. So you can see here, the tank didn't pop a DR, and he was getting destroyed. So he reflected all the damage back on us. If you ever did Razgeth, that's what that is. So that was almost a wipe due to a tank error. And now you're going to those sides that we described that you need to do initially. So general thing with this phase, and you can see here's an example of the breaths. So there's going to be 3 ad types. You're going to have your Manaforge type Titan. These are just hard prioed in Heroic. Just kill them and cleave off of them. And then it's just like dodging swirlies, dodging lines, and then like the ads will attack you, and not that big of a deal. It's actually very, very easy. So you can see here we group everything together. This is one side. And we're just AoEing it down. You can use AoE kicks. And we're just trying to take out this Manaforge Titan. The other side's also taking out the Manaforge Titan. And then when both sides are done, you just communicate with each other. You come down together. And then you are now off to the next phase. So very, very basic phase to understand. And then you're going to have P2. So we can just walk through it because we've seen a lot of these mechanics already. So here, he's really just doing nothing for a while. Alright, so here, again, same concept. We take these behind, and we're going to take the claws behind, and ideally we move. So this is a really bad claw here, but ideally we move like maybe over here. The portals are going to come out, and you need to dodge these. Now, in Heroic, you can live one of them. So here, just looking at their arrows, you can already tell like the safe spot's going to be here, unless I just don't see one. So the raid needs to kind of identify the safe spot. Ooh, that is really tight. You would have to run to the back of the room. But again, if you're going to tank one line, just use a personal. Don't overthink that mechanic. It will not kill you in Heroic. It will kill you in Mythic. In Mythic, there's going to be some type of placement thing that smarter people will outline for you. And now here, there's going to be a damage amp. The boss is absorbing the strength of the bird. This is probably where you're going to lust. And you are just going to absolutely nuke that bird. Boss comes out. And we are going to head into this last phase. So we can take a look at the raid plan. So again, the breath. And now we are in the last phase. So our last phase, we didn't kill it, but we were pretty close. Just kind of walk through what we think the strategy is, and then there's multiple options to do. And again, this is something we won't know until live. So option 1 here is you're going to get 3. So you can see 3 people get clockwise circles, and then 3 people get counterclockwise circles, and drop these equidistant from each other. They will then get sucked towards them like Kaveza. So you want to kind of drop them on these markers. And you could be like, okay, drop first 3 at triangle, star, circle, and then next 3 at blue, moon, purple. I believe it always picks a tank and then 2 DPS. So just something to keep in mind. So you can see here in our testing, we are just like, okay, just get them to these markers we've put down because we didn't know how many there would be. And we know they would be safe. So you can see here, he's going to pick 3 players. Alright, and then he's going to pick 3 more players. And then we are going to these markers. This player goes over here because he has no idea where to go. And then these are just going to do circles around the room. And then you're going to Kaveza style sucking. And then it's going to spawn these. And it's just like that boss in Dragonflight, Kurog. Where once this blows up, you need to book. You cannot greed. Very common mistake, especially for range players. To finish a cast, no. You just have to go insta. So, and then it's going like this. And then the core mechanic here is you're going to get these lines when this is happening. And these lines need to hit one of the stars. So this guy is a good example. He's lined up with a star here. You can see another one here is going to hit this star. And then that is going to negate the damage. We're going to get more lines. You need to hit the remaining 3 stars. We missed one and it killed a bunch of people. And now it's going to repeat. So you're going to get the new 3, and repeat. So absolute disorganization for us on PTR testing because we had no idea how this was going to work. But again, in theory, you could drop them around these markers every time, and then it should be more scripted. You can see here that each star rotates around the room. Each star also has a cascading circle. And that's what we saw. A line, a tank, a healer, and a range. But I think it is a tank and 2 DPS, but it could change. And then the fight just repeats. So just like another idea that we talked about is, so we drop them on the edge. You could also maybe drop them in like this middle area. It's going to make like the first 10 seconds of the dodging unbelievably brutal. But it kind of like shifts the difficulty early instead of later. So when you're doing the breaks and stuff, it might be way easier to get to the stars. So we're kind of like debating if we should do that or not. But I just wanted to let you know about both things we're thinking about. But again, maybe the day raiders will come up with an easier strategy. But this is what we've thought about right now. Hopefully this guide was helpful. I'm going to have Demencius coming up next. There's no video of that, so it's all going to be talking. But I'll see you in the next one. Peace.